Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hey, hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and we're here. This is the 4-year anniversary of Dudes at Ringside. Like this whole year, I'm not just go one day, but the whole year. This is like an amazing journey. 4 years of being a podcaster. It's just crazy to think that I've spoken to and helped pretty much a lot of the wrestling indie world that you've seen on this podcast past 4 years. And I was looking through my piles of 4 years of Dudes at Ringside books, and I finally got to the middle of the bulk of the yearbooks. And I was looking through this book, and I looked at this page and I said, nah, maybe not. And a hand pulled me back, and I flew, boom, hit the book, bounced up, and I saw the face. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside return to Alvin. Alvarez. Welcome, Alvin. Welcome back to Dudes at Ringside.
Feels good to be back. Joe Panther III. How are you?
I'm good. I think the last time we spoke, I think I was still the junior. I think I was junior.
Oh, I remember that. You were the junior at that point. Weren't the third yet.
Papa Panther had to scare me straight. He's a former CO. That's what they do. He says, Joe, I've seen you tell you something. I'm like, what? Am I doing bad? He's like, no, you're not junior. He's like, I'm junior, you're third. And I'm like, now I gotta remarket myself. Damn it.
Yeah.
I gotta rebrand. I gotta go back to NXT and rebrand myself all over again.
Keep you on your toes, you know.
I had to go back and I had to re-say my phrase in my mirror I have an Apple MacBook Air, and had to make 50 videos of me saying Joe Panther the third. My mom was like, don't throw up gang symbols. And I'm like, I don't curl the finger all the way. It's just it's a half a thumb. But yeah, Alvin, thank you for coming back to Dudes at Ringside. So I know it's been a long time. So what have you been up to, man? What's been going on?
So it's been, when's the last time we met? What we talk about last? Was it last
I
year?
think we spoke about your stuff with Victory Pro and just your career and just stuff that was going on. I think it was a long time ago.
Man, I'm trying to think back. I think it was
2 or 3 years, maybe.
Okay, yeah. So debuted for Ring of Honor since then. Let's see.
Wow.
Debuted for Battleground Championship Wrestling in Philly. Lots transpired. Tore a couple tendons in my knee.
Oh, geez.
So lots going on the past 2 years. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So let's start back. I guess. Last year, WrestleMania weekend. WrestleMania was in Philly last year, WrestleMania 40. So got a chance to work the Tribute to the Extreme 2 show for Battleground Championship Wrestling, which ran out of the 2300 arena. So that night I pinned Jason Knight, former ECW original.
I know Jason. Personally, I know Jason.
Yeah, good. So you can tell him I'm looking for him.
Okay.
So I pinned him 1, 2, 3, which makes me the ECW king. Don't ask any questions. It makes me that because I pinned him right there in his very home, the very ring that ECW began. The legendary between Swanson and Rittner, 2300 Arena. I pinned Jason Knight WrestleMania weekend. It makes me now the ECW king. So for the rest of the year, I was the king of ECW.
You still are.
I still am.
I may have to title this video ECW King in the title when we do the video now. So if you see fans, you see the title, ECW King.
That's it. So. The king. So, but now see, the promoter now there for Battleground Championship Wrestling, Mr. Timothy Embler, he decided that he wants to put our contracts up for renegotiation. Now, we signed a year ago, myself, Joel Gertner, Christian Ross, and the Philadelphia Playboy. See, we signed there a year ago. So now, May 31st, in 2 weeks, May 31st, South Philadelphia. We're going to meet once again.
Mm.
And he's going to decide if he's going to re-sign us. Now, I've done a number of phenomenal matches there since then. I've taken out guys like Matt Tremont. I've taken out guys like David Kid Cash. Taken out guys like Bill Alfonso. Just rack them up, name them up. I've taken them out, pinned them one by one. Let's not forget the legendary Pitbull, Gary Wolf.
Ooh.
So I've taken out all the ECW originals since then, since I've been signed to Battleground Championship Wrestling. So when I go back in 2 weeks, if Tim Membler, if you're watching this, you better be prepared to re-sign us for another year, because we're not leaving Philly without those contracts signed.
Yeah. That's the most important part. Actually, I don't know if you know this. Where I live in Pennsylvania, we have a battlefield that's owned by Alpha Jr.
I've seen them.
You got to come there. I mean, I live in PA. I'm dying to see some of my boys from Long Island come to PA and like get their own spotlight over here. Like PPW and Slatington, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's a big one. PPW, New Era Pro Wrestling, that's another good one that everybody like. It's a big name. It's sort of a new place. Like they think they just started last year.
Okay.
But yeah, like, is there any other place that you want to put on yourself on your dartboard in 2025 that you haven't like done yet?
So there's a couple places. We'll see around the U.S. Let's see. Been talking to some people. We'll see if we can get down. Maybe internationally one day. Maybe on the TV screen one day. Netflix Monday nights. We'll see. But right now. So Battleground's been going real well. 2024 is going real well. And then so I tore a tendon in my left knee. Chat about that. So last summer, Victory Pro Wrestling, your best friend John Radio, right? Yeah. The Gold Rush Rumble. One of the premier events for Victory Pro Wrestling. The Gold Rush Rumble last year. I enter the Rumble, number 12. Start to clean house. I go to get JJ Doe's up top. I catch him. I go to the ground. I happen to tear the patellar tendon in my left knee.
Ooh.
So went and had surgery a couple weeks later. So since then, I've been out of action. But before I went out, I proved to Tim Membler and Battleground what I can do in that ring. So hopefully, when we go back in 2 weeks, it's a re-sign. Then their next show after that's July 12th. We'll see, because I'll be cleared. Hopefully, we'll see by then.
Fingers crossed you're able to get yourself to do more things. You said also before you performed for Ring of Honor.
Yes.
That's amazing, dude. I want to give you a big. If I had a clap track, I'd give you the huge crowd. That the meme with the guy going, the blonde guy.
Yeah.
That'd be me.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. What does it feel like to step in a ring like a stage like that, like Ring of Honor?
So, that was it's fun. It goes so fast. It's funny when people talk about it when they relive it. It's a moment that goes fast. So if I've always been prepared. I've always tried to prepare myself well, that going into all AEW shows as an extra talent, that you may be called for that match. So I was ready. It's funny because that day when you're back there as an extra, you kind of don't really know what's going on, because they don't really put the board up anymore. They used to put like a board with all the matches up, but they don't really do that anymore because too many people take pictures back there, which is stupid. So they don't put up anything backstage anymore, so you don't really know who's wrestling. So kind of the producers really come up to each talent individually and tell you if you're wrestling. So I have a couple people who I know who are now in production for AEW Ring of Honor. So they actually came up and told me that they had nothing for me. So I said, all right. So I took photos. You get a chance to take photos when you go for AEW Extra Talent. Chance to take the photos with the AEW logo and stuff behind you. So that's kind of cool. So I took photos and stuff. Then I actually got changed out of my gear. I was getting ready to go back into my my suit and just watch the show. Or if they needed seat filling or whatever, you're there for the entire day. So whatever AEW would ever need from us, you do. You know, so you might have to seat fill or run the photography. They have different tapes for the photography, so you may have to run back and forth and do photography, stuff like that. So that you have a number of jobs you can do. So it's going to just change back into my suit, and then actually Bryce Donovan was back there with us. He's now WWE ID'd. Bryce thought he was there, and he tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, "Hey man, you got a match? They got you on the board." And I was like, "All right." So I changed up, and I wound up wrestling Zach Knight.
Wow.
Any
relation to Jason?
Yeah,
Jason,
right.
Long lost son.
Yeah. So it really happened that fast, you know. So we went out there, and I was able to get the crowd kind of behind me, unexpectedly, I should say. But yeah, it was just a good feeling, good being out there, being out in the atmosphere, you know, the arena atmosphere. And I recently posted on Facebook that I wrestled in a lot of places, you know, but being in the arena setting is something that is can never be duplicated, you know.
It's one thing that you were there technically for Ring of Honor, but it was also at an AEW show.
Yeah.
Does it feel differently? Like, what would the younger Alvin think about you getting the chance to step in a Ring of Honor ring?
No, it feels awesome because when I grew up Ring of Honor, you know, when I grew up as a New York independent wrestling fan, Ring of Honor really began in 2002, you know, with the SCTs and Homicide and Low Key and Bryan Danielson and Tyler Black and all those guys. They're the really founders, the pillars, as MJF would say, the pillars of Ring of Honor. Those guys really, you know, put Ring of Honor on the map, you know, and then Rob Feinstein bought it and went from there, and then it skyrocketed when Gabe bought it, and then Gabe took it to another level of status, you know, Ring of Honor. But it was always that next step, you know. When I came in 2011, guys that were Ring of Honor were guys that now are on TV, you know, Tyler Black, Seth Rollins. Punishment Martinez, you know, who from the Monster Factory. Those guys were on Ring of Honor, now were, you know, main eventing WrestleMania. So it was the next step up. So I knew that Ring of Honor was always that next step up. So when I got the chance to get there, it was always just the next step up, you know, and to continue to try to get to that next level until you gain the contract, you know.
That, you know, like, it's so, like, I every time I see or I hear about a former guest making it to that step in their career, I think it's so amazing and it's so cool. And I know for you, it must be like an uplifting thing, because a lot of wrestlers, you probably been in the locker room, male and female, never get a chance to touch that star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Alvin? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
There's probably some older stars that when you started out, were just about to walk through that curtain and leave, and you're just starting out. Do you now have those younger wrestlers coming in the locker room with you at all these promotions you wrestle at, coming to you now to ask you for advice, and you're like, oh my gosh, I never had a chance to do this for any of the older wrestlers that you saw in the locker room, like back when you were a young wrestler?
Of course, yeah. It's always just the time. It's always evolution. You know what I'm saying? So when I was coming up, you know, in 2011, 2012, 2013, you know, in the Northeast, you know, I had my share of guys, you know, that I looked up to, that I always asked advice. You know, guys like Papa Don,
Love Papa Don.
yeah, guys like Azrael, I always had in the locker room with us. Guys like Dan Moff, I always had in the locker room with us. Guys like Sean Donovan, guys like you know, so I always had those vets in the locker room with me to ask questions to and to watch my matches, you know, whenever they were around. Even guys like Eric James or VSK, if they're in the locker room with me, I'll always ask them. Even today, can you watch my stuff? And I tell them, don't tell me the good stuff. Watch it to see me mess up or see things that I can change, because that's how I learn. So I've always had those guys. So since I've always had those guys in my corner, now when the younger guys come up, yeah, I do the same. They ask me to watch the matches, especially when I go to like Warriors of Wrestling. If I'm when I'm there, a lot of younger guys there, so they'll ask me to watch their stuff. So yeah, I'll watch their stuff and critique it and give them any best advice I can give them. But I'm still learning. Everyone's still learning. I always feel myself still learning. Even now, 13 years in, I still go to training now. I've been rehabbing my knee now for about 2 months now. So even going to training every Tuesdays with Remarkable, I even learn new stuff now. And my girlfriend just started training. She's been training for about a month.
Oh, wow.
So watching her learn, even learning new stuff too, just learning ways of getting out of holds, even basic chain wrestling, ways of getting out of chain, getting out of a hammerlock and going into, a side headlock and getting from the headlock down to going from a takedown, coming back up from the takedown, stuff I haven't learned in 13 years. Because, you learn it and then you lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I become a powerhouse type wrestler that I usually don't chain. I'll go into it and just tackle somebody, because that's the stuff that gets over. But so you lose a little stuff. So, going with her now every Tuesday to Remarkable, shout out to Remarkable Pro Wrestling Training School out here on Long Island, by far the top training school on Long Island. So we're there every Tuesday. Be welcome to come down. They're always accepting new students. So, but yeah, we're there every Tuesday. So now, even learning stuff now, and the guys that are now at the training school, they're always, popping up, asking me questions. Hey, did I do that right? Yeah, of course. Yeah, let's watch it back. Let's see if you did it right. Watch your feet. Watch for this. Watch for that. So, yeah, man, it's good, man. It's good to be on now the veteran, I guess, side of things. And down, because I've learned, one of my mentors, Mike Mondo, who is doing phenomenal now with the NWA. He's one of my mentors. He always told me, always pass it down, give back, whenever try to give back, and try to give, we're all fans at the end of the day, we're all wrestling fans. So why would we not want to promote the next generation to keep our sport we love going,
Yeah, man, that's a big definitely, because like I've spoken to some very young wrestlers like Sammy Slam and Sammy. She's from PA. She's a very young wrestler. I've spoken to a lot of young wrestlers from like Slam and Sammy. There's a female wrestler from Florida that I had on multiple times last year. She has never wrestled in Long Island. She's never wrestled in New York. She's like a Florida-based wrestler. Bella Snow. She's very young. I think she's like maybe 18, 19, maybe 20. Maybe like in the teens. She can still sing when she's a teen, but she's a very good name. Like, you can look her up when you're done. Bella Snow. She's never wrestled in New York, and her mom's a giant baseball fan. Mom's a Yankee fan, and she's like, I've never even been to New York. And I'm just like, what? Like, I know a lot of New York promotions would definitely open their doors for Bella if they got her playlist or whatever. She's really good. And since she was a little girl, she's won multiple championship belts. Like, they go there, she goes to the promotion, they're like, sorry, honey, you're losing the belt to this kid tonight. What? Like, she sent me a t-shirt, her mom, like a family t-shirt, with just her with all the belts on her shoulders. And I'm just like, my mom's like, you're gonna wear that shirt? I'm like, yeah, why? She won the belts. Ah, get it. Young kid on the shirt. Got it. Got it. But when it comes to like the week of a show, Alvin, do you have to like prep your bag a certain way? Because certain wrestlers wear like certain outfits, those for different shows.
Well, it depends. So it depends what show it is. So if I'm going to like Battleground, usually we wear pink a lot. The group colors are pink. So then I'll pack in pink singlet. So normally I'll pack that one on top. So how I have my bag is I have normally all my singlets on one side, and then I have the singlet I'm going to wear, stuff I'm going to wear, stuff I'm going to do for that show on the other side. So I'll normally pack that singlet on the side I'm going to wear. But otherwise, it really honestly depends. Depends what color I feel like wearing. Depends if I feel heavy or not. if I look fat in one color or not. That always pays, because some of my singlets fit differently. So it depends if I'm up weight or not. If I'm down weight and I look good in this one, look good in that one. But more really what it comes down to is what my opponent's gonna wear. So normally I'll have an idea of what singlet I'm going to wear for that night, but if my opponent's going to wear the same color, I'll change it. So, that's why I have a different array of colors. I have my blue one, I have my black and yellow one, my black and pink one. I'm having a new one. I have a ECW one, and I'm having
Ooh.
actually made black and orange.
Oh wow, that's
So,
cool.
yeah. So I have a nice array of colors. So I'll try not to match with your opponent. Try.
That's like a TikTok video. Like the people walk out of the room and it goes, "No, you got to change," and they show us the guys wearing the same dress as the woman. Like it's like, oh man,
Yeah, because it's weird because you see it sometimes now, where the two guys wearing like the very same. Both guys wearing black. It's like, all right.
I guess that's like because I know you guys spend like thousands of dollars on those gear, those trunks, the tights, and like, do you always go to the same company to make your trunks, or is there like a different guy or different girl that you go to all the time?
Well, I had one guy since I started. One guy, Spider, Joe Seho. He was with NYWC since I started. So he made my first ever tights, and his stuff is great. His stuff is quality. I'm getting tights from him. Never had a tights ripped in the ring. Never had tights smear. Some a little bit of the thread would come off, but I could always toss it back to him. He'd fix it for me, and so my gear's always been good. So I continue to go to him. So I've been having one guy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess Spider's based on Long Island, I guess?
Yeah, he's in Nassau County. Yep.
Wow, that's pretty cool because I know a lot of the people I speak to, they go to people from England, they go to people from like Mexico,
Yeah.
out of the country.
Yeah, I go pick it up because I pass his house going to work. So I work in the city. So
Cool.
I pass by him, pick up my gear, and there you go.
So when my fans watch this episode, they all know that I love the ask the fun question. Where is that one place that you go to after a show that you have to, like, food wise, that if my fans are on Long Island, some reason watch some indie wrestling, and you go there, where should they get that good yummy bite to eat?
Good question. Really good spot to eat, I guess. On Long, what diners are phenomenal on Long Island. So if you can get a good diner after a good indie show, you're making out pretty good. I would suggest like a steakhouse. You can maybe do even like a Longhorns or something like that. But I would suggest any diner because it's on Long Island. If you're out in Jersey, you could always do, one of the gas stations possibly. But Long Island, yeah, probably diner.
As I know, I've spoken to anybody, and also the Greek gods. Like, if you don't go to this certain pizza place, come on, man. Like, he was going off. He's like, I can't go anywhere. There's so many good places, but there's one pizza place I always go to. When you talk about the Greek god, you always got to be like, it's over here, like this.
God, sure, there he is.
Oh yeah, I love the Greek god, man. Got to represent the man, the myth, the legend, Greek god. He's been on here twice.
Yeah.
He was on recently. We last few months ago. We went live and it was so much fun. Oh my god, that was so much fun. He was hilarious too. He's like, can I curse on here? I'm like, did you remember last time we were cursing? Like, he went crazy last. I was like, he kept telling his kids. He's putting the microphone. Hold on, guys. I was like, well, I got to distract the crowd. I had to like talk. I had to do a whole commercial about the next few episodes.
There you go.
He was just, who were you saying? I was like, I think I was doing a commercial. He's like, oh, cross promoting. Yep.
There you go.
That's me. But Alvin, before we go, if my fans want to follow you on social media, how can they find you?
All right, easy, man. On Instagram and X, I am AJFOR, letter U, number 2, letter C. Facebook, Alvin Alvarez. TikTok, this is Alvin. All over social media, probably the best way to get me. My Facebook, my Instagram. Next wrestling event I will be down in Philly in 2 weeks. May 31st, we're at the 2300 Arena for Original Sin. Hopefully they renew the contracts, so then I'll be back there in July. But then locally, I will be at Victory Pro Wrestling on June 7th. I'll be there for their show there. And yeah, every Tuesday, remarkable training, and life is good.
Awesome, Alvin. If anybody wants to pick up any like T-shirts or your stickers or anything you have, is there anywhere they could find it?
Got a new T-shirt coming out. I am on Pro Wrestling Tees. I got my original Absolute Brand shirt there, but also actually private message me on my socials. So I ship you a shirt individually because I have a new shirt coming out, hopefully in 2 weeks, the ECW King shirt. So just private message me on social media. We'll get you that shirt ASAP.
Awesome, Alvin. I want to thank you so much for coming back on the podcast, taking time out of your busy day to come chat with the Panther Man. If there was any kids that are just getting into the business, we're talking about like 18 to 19-year-olds, they're just checking on the internet to find a training school and they're really nervous about it. What kind of advice would you have for them?
Go into the training school and watch a class and watch on what the trainers are critiquing, on what they're looking for. And if they're watching footwork, if footwork's important, and if movement in the ring is important, those are two very important things when just learning how to wrestle, is your footwork and your movement, very little movement inside the ring. So if the coaches aren't training that, then you may be in not such a good of a school. You want to try to pick a school where the coaches focus on footwork and very few movements inside the ring, which one remarkable wrestling school does very, very well. So I will push them. But if you're not on Long Island, definitely look for a training school that teaches good footwork, because that's what they look at when you go to tryouts, either for AEW or for WWE.
Awesome. Again, thank you so much, Alvin. I really appreciate coming on the podcast. Again, it's the 4-year anniversary. It's your part 2. I hope to do a whole bunch of more with you. I'm Joe Panther III.
Alvin Alvarez.
And we will catch you in the next one.